The political upheaval in the country wasn't unexpected. What wasn't expected was the drawn-out process to get President Jacob Zuma to step down from office.
I think the markets have maybe anticipated what is going to occur. So everyone knew that Zuma was going to go. I suppose it's the timing of his exit and how much damage is done until he exits. So you could have had a clean exit strategy, which may have been he might have left a month or two ago, left cleanly, and it would have been very disruptive. But now it looks like it might be a little bit of a messy exit.
The country's economy has been in the doldrums for several years now, but that situation could change quickly.
Our market has suffered for the last decade under low growth, poor policy implementation, and a lot of uncertainty. And suddenly with Mr. Ramaphosa comes an expectation of a whole bunch of new policies that can really set us on a path for growth. And that's why the markets are hanging on every word and tidbit of this news coming out.
And once there's confirmation of Mr. Zuma's departure, the markets are likely to react quickly.
So I suspect you might get on the announcement that he's finally gone through whatever method, that you might get a bit of a happy rally, if I could call it, but I think it'll be short-lived because really everyone knows he's going.
The markets and currency are poised to bounce back.
So both the bond and the currency markets priced for perfection. Our equity market, however, has the ability to rally significantly post this as policy certainty comes back into the equation and investors become a lot more sanguine about the market prospects.
Ramaphosa and his team have put forward an 8-point plan to resurrect the country's economy, and that now needs to be implemented.
He certainly has the credibility to implement it. He certainly has the ability to implement it. And importantly, I think he's got the backing of the party. The party knows that if they don't start showing positive signs, or let's say if the economy doesn't start showing positive signs, start growing, creating jobs, they are going to get hurt in the next election.
That political uncertainty is having an impact on the national psyche, and that's flowing through into the markets and the currency, and hopefully we'll have some clarity quite soon so that we can begin to rebuild. I'm Angelo Coppola for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.
And Angelo Coppola now joins us live from Johannesburg. So Angelo, dramatic developments out of South Africa today, and yet the markets have remained very positive. Are they expected to last?
Well, the indication of what we can expect, because we saw today with the behavior of the US dollar against the rand spot price, it strengthened by nearly 2% at the close of business. And that's after the ANC had announced that it was voting against its state president. And despite Mr. Zuma's rambling interview this afternoon, the currency will react appropriately once Zuma publishes his much anticipated official statement. On the markets, the asset managers, as you heard, are expecting that stability to continue. In fact, some are even expecting the market to strengthen once that no confidence debate and vote is done and dusted and Ramaphosa is sworn in as president. On Friday, that is. That will provide the positive sentiment that the market's looking for to close higher for the week. And we're likely to see more market and currency movement when Ramaphosa delivers his SONA address, which is on Friday night, Panina.
And Angela, speaking about Ramaphosa swearing in, expected swearing in, I should say, on Friday, he's really got an uphill task, turning around the economy. Does he have a strategy to achieve that?
Well, we've heard about this 8-point plan that he's been punting in the run-up to the December elective conference. Analysts say that his plan is common sense, but it needs to be implemented urgently and properly. It includes creating at least 1 million jobs in the next 5 years, prioritizing growth and investment, containing that state debt and spending, giving the black majority a bigger slice or stake in the economy, reducing the cost of doing business here, improving the education system, improving the management of the state-owned companies, and perhaps most importantly, clamping down on graft. Panina?
And Angelo, let's talk about the budget. It is expected to be read next week, but in light of what we've seen happening in South Africa, all of these developments constantly changing, what's the status on that?
Well, as it stands right now, with not having heard from Mr. Zuma and his official statement, the budget speech is on track, provided Mr. Zuma doesn't throw a spanner in the works there. According to the Parliamentary Planning Committee, they have their plans neatly in place. We understand that the National Treasury is also on top of the work that they needed to get done so that the Finance Minister can deliver that speech on the 21st, that's next Thursday. It's expected to be Malusi Gigaba who will deliver the national budget speech. And as I say, it's unlikely that Ramaphosa will reshuffle his cabinet But this is politics, and we know how fluid the situation can be and how quickly it can change. At the back of Ramaphosa's mind, of course, will be his campaign promise to clamp down on graft and removing government officials at all levels who are implicated in any kind of corruption. The question will be whether he acts quickly or waits until after the national budget speech. Panina?
And Angelo, earlier today, police raided the Gupta home and arrested one family member. Has there been any more arrests, and what charges are likely to be pressed against them?
Well, we understand that 2 more suspects who were expected to hand themselves in over to authorities, in fact in Pretoria, didn't arrive at the police station by close of business today. 5 others have been arrested, including one of the Gupta brothers and the Free State Agricultural Department head. That's because the Hawks considered all of them to be flight risks. The Hawks have also said that they expect to make more arrests, but wouldn't provide any more specifics. We do understand, though, that those arrested will appear in a Bloemfontein court tomorrow, and that's when we'll find out who exactly they are and what charges have been preferred against them. Panina?
All right, Angelo Coppola in Johannesburg, thank you.